I picked up 25 boxes of books for free, including this one here. This is a local pickup, mostly bankers boxes, all kinds of books. There's some novels, there's some fiction, there's also a lot of gun books like these right here. They were retired police officers. And there's also some art books, etc. So I am unloading these books here in my warehouse onto this pallet. This is exactly why I keep these pallets and these Gaylord boxes, these giant boxes, for situations like this where I need to easily be able to move around a large quantity of books or items. So I just pile them onto the pallet and move them around with my pallet jack. As you can see, I have all of these boxes, which are DVDs, and I can easily move them around. I also keep a lot of extra boxes, specifically bankers boxes, because they're the perfect size for stacking onto a pallet for easy maneuvering. Because you can fit about, well, you can go 3 high and fit 27, or you can go 4 high and do 36, but you can fit a lot without having a Gaylord box. But this is a nice way to just contain all of these boxes when I need them. Of course, you can just put them on the floor in a storage unit in your garage, wherever, if you don't have pallets or a pallet jack. But that will be a lot of work, but you can do it for sure. The way I was able to acquire these books was through my website, which is for my local store. As you can see here, excuse me, book, music, and movie store with some video games as well. I have a website and a page on the website for free local book and media pickups. So when somebody finds that, they just call me, send me an email, etc., and we set up a time for the pickup. Hey guys, it's me behind the camera. No, I do not get tons of contacts through that webpage because I have not tried to have it rank in the search engines, that kind of thing. I just had to go live. It is available online. People can search it, and they have found it several times, but I'm not pushing it because if I were to get a ton of those, I wouldn't be able to handle it. So when I get them occasionally, it's nice. More business comes in, I make a contact, I give them my business card, that kind of thing. It could lead to more, but no, that's to answer your question, which I know some people are probably thinking. It doesn't, just because you have the web page doesn't mean you're going to get tons of contacts or tons of opportunities, but they do come in. And if you push that website, if you know how to do SEO or any type of marketing of your website or page, then yeah, you can get more, or you can do paid advertising, that kind of thing. For now, I'm not doing that because I do have my store, and I get a lot of people that walk in, donate items, are searching out for a trade or looking to sell. So I buy, sell, and trade, as well as receive donations. So I get a lot of those walk-ins here in my store. You can also post for free on places like Nextdoor, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. I suppose you could do it at OfferUp. I don't see too many people doing that, but a variety of local apps and or websites that you can do that. Simply telling people what you do, getting a bunch of 100, 200 inexpensive business cards and passing those out as you meet people is also a way to try to get free book pickups. You can put it on your card, contact information. You can say free book pickups. I will gladly go to your home. You don't have to write all this, but essentially get across the point. Free book pickups, book and media. I like to say media because often when you lead with books, it does lead to more. But if you put in books, music, movies, games, etc., things like that, people might have a box or two of CDs, might have 10 boxes of DVDs, might have some records, depending on what you're reselling. Of course, if you're only doing books, then stick to books. But that's another handy way to do it, is to pass out a business card. You'd be surprised every single day, especially if you live in an area, highly populated area, there's a lot of people donating books and media to local thrift stores and other organizations. So why can't you get a little taste of that by letting people know what you do? If you only have a car, don't have an SUV or a truck, you can still do it. You can still do pickups. So as long as you have a vehicle, it's pretty it's pretty simple. Even if you have a small vehicle, you can at least fit probably 10 boxes or more into the trunk, your back seat, even your front seat. So keep that in mind as well. You don't necessarily need an SUV or a big truck or to go rent a U-Haul unless you're doing a massive pickup. But yeah, so really anybody can do it. You don't need a warehouse like I have. You don't even need a storage unit. You could just use your garage. Well, if you live in an apartment, don't have a garage, then you're gonna have to haul them into your apartment. You might want to look into a small storage unit. It's not too far from where you would park with the boxes of books. It's a way to start as well. Maybe a couple $100 or so to get a decent one, depending on what your budget is. I started out with my garage, then I grew to a storage unit, a small storage unit, then a bigger storage unit, and finally to this location, which I started leasing in October, November of 2019. Here we are in July 2023. So I'm 3.5+ years with this location. And as you can see, I've got quite a lot of stuff. Of course, I have a store, open store to the public every week, but most of this stuff back here is for sale on eBay. A bunch of different lots. But anyway, getting off topic. So yeah, you can start with just absolutely no storage unit and just do it from wherever you live and just build from there, basically. I bet you could even get a table at a swap meet or a flea market and get a little sign with probably some business cards or even like a little flyer, leaflet, something like that, saying, I do free book pickups. Of course, you're selling books there, but saying, yeah, I'm starting out my book business. I'm looking to help people get rid of books that they don't want anymore. You can just give me a call and I'll come out and pick them up for you for free, no hassle, right? They can do a porch pickup, pick it up from the garage, whatever, from their business, even a storage unit. And you can just start that way to build that up and tell them, you can even tell them, take my business card if you know somebody else. If you want to do this, you can also do like a referral and say, yeah, I'll give you $10 if you find somebody who actually pick up books from. You can do creative ways like that, or give you free books if you help me out. There's just different ways to try to be creative to do that. I'm in the route of, like I said, initially doing the whole normal thing of thrift stores, garage sales, estate sales, library book sales. But when I eventually opened this, one of my biggest reasons for doing it, aside from trying to sell stuff that I had a hard time selling online on Amazon or eBay, was to create a location where people would know what I'm doing, that I'm always looking for new inventory, and that they could bring stuff to me, either donate. I've received thousands and thousands of donated items, probably in the tens of thousands at this point. And I've also had tons of trades and buying opportunities. So it's a great mixture. Now, of course, not everyone can do this or wants to do this, but that was why, one of the big reasons why. And now, after 3.5 years, this year especially, I think because I've been open every week for the last 1.5 years. Initially, I started just doing once a month, but now that I've been open for a while now, every single week I'm getting either donations, trades, or purchasing opportunities, or all three sometimes even in a week. And I'm only open 3 days a week, Thursday through Saturday, if you're new to the channel. But because I'm in open consistently, people are bringing me stuff pretty much every week. Yeah, every week. Like this past week, I bought some CDs. What else? I bought, somebody brought me an opportunity to buy a lot of VHS tapes, and then also threw in or bought some laser discs. So that was a good deal. I've already gone through the VHSs. There's some good stuff there, a bunch of sealed ones. And then also someone, one sec, donated all of these books. And this is a person that's been bringing me books for quite a while now that they are cleaning out of their house. Again, this is the way that I've done it. Whatever makes sense for you, take that path. But I didn't start this way. I didn't say, I'm going to start reselling by getting this warehouse. And that was the first thing I did. Absolutely not. I was just selling books on Amazon FBA from my home and didn't even keep inventory. I was sending it into Amazon. So yeah, go take your route, your path, whichever it is. There's a lot of different ways, like I've talked about, and whatever makes sense for you. Okay, so I started stacking them. I'm just taking them from the truck, bringing them right in here, putting them on the pallet. I did my first bottom row, and as you can see, you can put 9 banker's boxes on a pallet, and you can go as high as you as you want to. I wouldn't go too high though, because books are very heavy, but because they are evenly distributed weight-wise, you're not going to have a problem with them tipping over or anything like that, unless you go ridiculously high. Of course, I wouldn't recommend that. But I'm going to go just 3 stacks high. Actually, all the boxes are not banker's boxes, so we'll see how that goes. I'll show you in a second. Fully stacked pallet of books. Turns out there's 22 boxes with all of them have books. Actually, I think this one. Oh, no, it does have books. They said they would be including some other stuff, but apparently not. 22 boxes. So it's on the pallet, nicely stacked, evenly stacked, pretty well distributed. Only had 17 banker's boxes, but the rest were in these bigger ones. It's on the pallet jack, so now I can just move it around easily. Yeah, it's heavy, but with the pallet jack, it's pretty simple to move around. The only thing for me is I have to get it over this little lip here. As you can see, there's a little lip there that you got to get over. So when you're going up, it's a bit, not precarious, but just an obstacle. It's not completely flat. So yeah, so I will just push these up against this other pallet, and it will stay here. And I'll remove the pallet jack and just move the other pallet that I have, which is a little more precarious. This one is a little more precarious because the boxes are so gigantic, which is why I put the cords around them in rope so that they stay in place. This is all DVDs, like I said. My last one, I had another entire pallet and a half of these giant boxes, and I've gotten through all those, almost, anyway. So this one I'll be moving in last, but it'll be nice and easy to move that around because I will be opening my store in 2 days. Sorry, tomorrow. I'm losing track of time. Tomorrow, yesterday was 4th of July, today's the 5th, so tomorrow on the 6th. And so I'm gonna have to move this stuff out, which is what I do every morning, to move it out, to make room for people to come in and see my inventory. But yeah, so finally all stacked up. So my final caveat for trying to get into getting books for free to resell them on Amazon or eBay is that books are heavy, that there are a lot of books out there that people are constantly getting rid of, and trust me, people are thankful when you pick them up from them because they, like I said, they're heavy, and a lot of people don't want to deal with that. They don't even want to take them to the thrift store or to anywhere to donate them. So it's a real help to people. So look at it from that way. You're not being a nuisance when you're telling people this. You're providing a quality service. You're doing it for free. It's not, monetarily it's for free. They're not charging you anything. But, it does take time. It does take effort. And once you have them in your possession, you have to figure out where to put them. Like I said, if you're not set up with a warehouse, a storage unit, then it's going to go in your garage, or it's going to go in your apartment, or it's going to sit in your car. And so you need a location to store it while you sort and go through the books. And then you need a way to get rid of them as well. That's the other part of this caveat, is books are heavy, and a lot of them, if not most of them, the majority of them, you will not be able to resell either individually on Amazon or eBay, or even in a lot. They won't make sense. So you'll have to dispose of them some way. I have a dumpster here. Trust me, there's so many books that are obsolete. They're either too old, no one wants them, or they're in terrible condition, and that's okay. That's what ends up happening at thrift stores. That's what ends up happening where people donate books anyway. So you're just part of that process. You're like the last stop, basically. So consider those things as well when you are thinking about offering this service, because it will take effort. Physically make sure that you can do that. Each box, depending on what books are in there or how many books are in there, is going to weigh 20, 30, even 40 pounds. Sometimes even more if people really put a lot of books in a box. Make sure that the boxes aren't much bigger than these. I prefer banker's boxes because you can only fit so many, so the boxes aren't too heavy, even if they're packed with bigger books. It shouldn't be much more than about 30, 35 pounds for a banker's box of books, even for hardcovers. But consider that if you can't lift more than 20 pounds, then don't do this, or you're going to have them be small boxes or not full of books. So consider that stuff as well, physically, whether or not you can handle it. Yeah, and good luck with it. Thanks for watching the channel. Subscribe, leave a comment. See you in the next video. Take care.